Alright, I got another trash pick guitar here that I just got into my possession. But this one is a Fender Stratocaster. So I got a message from a guy the other day. He said he found a guitar for me. And I said, is it for free? Because the way he was talking, I said, and he said, yeah, it's for free. And he sent me a picture, and I saw it said Fender Stratocaster. So I'm like, maybe it's fake. I don't know. He found it in the garbage, and as you can see, it's pretty dirty. The strings are rusty. It's missing a string. But I'm pretty much convinced that it's 100% real and not a fake, just because you can tell it's older. And fakes are kind of newer, at least the Chinese fakes that we know. This is not just a sticker, and also it's made in Mexico. So I haven't seen any fakes where they're made in Mexico. Whenever you see a fake, they're usually like the higher end Fenders, like Yngwie Malmsteen, or pretty much anything that's higher end. They're always, from what I've seen, the ones you see at like that, whatever it is, AliExpress or whatever, they're always like higher end Fenders. So this one was just unloved for a long time for some reason. As I said, strings are rusty, but other than that, it's intact. This is the bag that it was in, that he found it in. Found it in the garbage. There was like a pick and a dime in there too. So yeah, well, he said he would give it to me, but then when I saw that it was a Fender, I said, no, I'm going to pay you for it. So I'm going to clean it up and keep it, because I don't have a Fender right now. I did actually have a Fender Yngwie Malmsteen years ago. Never could play it well, but I had it, and I sold it to do some work on my house. So basically on this one, I'm just going to clean it up, put new strings on it, and see how it sounds. I'll take this off. This being a made in Mexico, I don't think I've ever taken one apart, and I don't know if there'll be any identifications on the pickups. I do know I took apart a Chinese Fender player, I think it's called, and that had some identifications on it. But I'll take this off real quick and see if there's any identification underneath there. So after I get the strings off and clean the whole thing, I'll put a new set of these strings on. Those frets are corroded, so I'm going to use some very fine sandpaper and carefully clean them. I'll probably use some, just clean the neck with some, probably furniture polish, to be honest. And I'll use this, and if I have to, this for the paint. Somebody made a comment on one of my videos, does dude even own a rag? Because I use t-shirts and rags, for rags, and socks and things. So since that guy said that, just in case he's watching, I'm going to use a sock, because I like to use what I have around, and they work really great. So this dude I actually don't have any rags. I use socks and t-shirts. So let's get to work. Let me clean this up and we'll see what it sounds like. So yeah, so there's no branding, but there are some numbers on here, and probably somebody out there that has a Fender made in Mexico can kind of identify these, hopefully. And that's what the body looks like inside. Now, some of these strings, sometimes you'll find, sometimes they'll come right out, but sometimes you'll have ones, like I have, I think two that won't move. So what I usually do, if that happens, you can just put like a drop of oil in there, leave it sit like this, just a drop, So all these are coming out except for 2. Put a drop in there, let it sit overnight or whatever. And then if that still doesn't come out, sometimes I'll use the thickest string, and it might even work right now, but to push. Actually, that one came out, I think. Yeah, that one came out. So I'll use the thicker string to push out the ones that aren't coming out. So let me try it on this one. Yeah, and that one came out too. So, but if they don't, then yeah, just put a drop of oil, and it'll usually come out the next day. You don't want to put too much because you don't want to get oil all over your guitar. For the dirt that you see like on this head, that'll just come right off. But what I usually would use for that, these are like wet ones or like baby wipes. We just get the Walmart brand. We have them in our house, you know, all the time for all kinds of stuff. But this is like a very gentle first cleaning that you can do, just to get, you know, the majority of the dirt off, and it's not going to damage anything. You can use it on your baby's butt, so then you can use it on, you know, a guitar, hopefully. I mean, I use them on all kinds of like antiques and things. And it's actually not my idea. Someone recommended it to me that worked with antiques. They said they always tried to use these first. That way it doesn't damage, you know. It's pretty mild. You can see the strings. I don't know if that'll come off, but see that color there? So there's just some dirt inside there. And the frets, I'll just clean those up a little bit, very gently. I don't want to damage the fretboard. If I wanted to, I could put some tape over there, but I don't know if I'll have to. Same thing for this pick guard. I'll just wipe it down. You can see that dirt there. So it comes right off, and this won't hurt anything. I'm not going to take this pick guard apart just because I don't really feel like doing it, but I will take these knobs off here to clean underneath, but mostly to get, you know, when they put the plastic film over top of a brand new guitar. Every single guitar I've ever had still has the plastic underneath here, and you kind of hear it crinkle when you turn the knobs. Yeah, so pretty much everything is coming off. So here's that plastic I'm talking about. See that plastic? That's always on these guitars underneath. And then you can also see the color difference, hopefully. See how white this pickguard was. And then you can see how it's aged. Now, yeah, so also when you get the all the strings off, this nut I can loosen by hand. So you always want to tighten these up. And you know, you can take like a socket and almost tighten it with your hand, or if you had it on a ratchet, just like with your hand right on the top of the ratchet. And sometimes you can check these screws to make sure that they're tight. But again, just being gentle with them, you know, you don't have to kill them. And there's the headstock. That's just after one quick cleaning with the wet one. For the frets, I just have this. Like I said, this is a very fine sandpaper. I'll just go across like that. This is just a quick cleaning, just so they're not scratchy on when you're playing with the string, bending the string. As far as the paint goes, I usually just will give it a clean wipe with the same baby wipes, and then I'll just polish it with car polish or wax or whatever I have. The reason I do that is because this is just paint. It's like, especially when I paint the guitar myself, I'll usually use car paint, the Duplicolor, and it's paint. It's not wood, you know, it's just paint. And this guitar seems to be in fairly good shape, so I don't care that much about the paint. I just want to clean it up so it gets all the trashiness off of it. But I didn't really look it over that well to see if it was chipped anywhere. I don't think it is, but it doesn't really matter to me. So this is probably controversial. On a lot of necks that I work on, whether they're rosewood or whatever, I'll put a little bit of boiled linseed oil on. Now this neck should be sealed from the factory where the rosewood wouldn't be. So in this case, this might be just like kind of cleaning it and maybe seeping a little bit into where it might need to be. But I still like to do it. And I don't go crazy with it. I'll put it on and I'll just let it sit for a bit, and then I'll wipe it off. It's not like there's some thick, you know, coating on there. Okay, so here's the guitar all cleaned up. New strings, everything's working. I didn't find a whammy bar yet. I'm sure I have one in the basement. I cleaned the pick guard. The pick guard and the pickups are two different colors of white. For some reason the pickups didn't age the same, but it's kind of cool. It kind of is like a contrast. The neck cleaned up really well. The frets cleaned up well. I left this back cover off because I don't usually use that, because it makes changing strings harder and it's not really necessary. Tuners are really in good shape. The guitar is in very good shape. So it's kind of a mystery why it was in the trash. And as I said before, it looked like it had been unloved or unused for a very long time, just judging by the rust on the strings and the dust on it. So yeah, so this guitar here is a story of kind of friendship and someone looking out for each other. And if you know somebody you know collects something, I'm sure most people out there would find it and give it to people they know. And I do the same thing. If I find something, you pass it along to someone. But this one just happened to be a really nice guitar, which usually the ones that I find aren't as nice as this. I definitely never found a Fender Stratocaster that I can remember. So this was a really cool find, and for someone else to find it and think of me, it was really cool. So the guy that found it, his name is Josh, and he has a channel actually. It's about firewood. He cuts and sells firewood, which I didn't even know that existed as far as a YouTube channel until last year. So this is his channel, and he also obviously looks for things in the trash the same as me. And I'm glad that he thought of me when he found this, and it's now going to be treasured, whereas I doubt it would have been thrown in the garbage, but it was ready to be thrown in the garbage. Like right before this guy found it, the truck was right there. So this was saved for sure from the landfill. I know that for a fact. So yeah, that's the story of this guitar. I believe it's a 1999. It's a made in Mexico Fender Stratocaster. And somebody put it in the garbage. But now it's in my hands. I'm a garbage player, but I will cherish it.